If that happens to us, people are gonna die. Many. So he didn't even do any of this? My condolences to the family. I will hack the Pentagon. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't worry about it. Please don't kill me. Because there's a kid who actually went ahead and hacked the Pentagon and paid with his life. And we are going to see in this beautiful video by Fern. Have a lot of fun.
Accused of hacking into Pentagon and NASA systems.
40 million credit card and debit numbers stolen.
On its surface, the International Space Station heats up to 120 degrees Celsius.
Hoch, by the way. The guy who's speaking this is Hoch. He also has a YouTube channel that's not been performing too well recently. Hopefully the Charlie Kirk video boosted his channel a little bit. Amazing creator. One of the co-producers of Fern. Huge fan. Okay, but don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you all the background information about the channel now. How in the hell is the ISS connected to... okay, no. Let's just watch it. We're gonna see.
The onboard temperature and humidity control system keeps the inside at the right temperature for human survival. If it fails, the astronauts stationed here would literally be cooked. And just now, a hacker has gotten hold of the system's software.
What the heck? I thought, okay, the Pentagon got hacked. He stole some files, who cares? That's a terrorist attack. That's crazy. And obviously not many people can be affected by this, but the few people who can are like shining stars or idols of many different countries. And this also is like a terrorist attack on important people from like many different countries. Obviously, we probably can assume that they didn't die, otherwise we would have heard of this. I personally haven't heard of it. But whoa, okay, I wasn't prepared for that. That's insane. Okay, I'm all here for it. I'm ready.
He's not a hostile government agent, just a 15-year-old in his bedroom. He successfully gained access to 13 NASA computers. This teenager is a prodigy, one of the most talented young hackers the world has ever seen. And he didn't just break into NASA, he also hacked the Pentagon. From his point of view, he's just toying around. From the government's perspective, he's a national security threat.
Largest identity theft case ever.
Largest data breach in U.S. history.
That affected millions of people.
One that humiliated them over and over again. And one that they will go after ruthlessly.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be a banger. Let's go. I'm hyped.
It's the year 1989, a suburban village in South Florida. This is Jonathan James. He is 6 years old. While other kids are outside playing tag, he's busy inside, glued to the family's computer. Mostly, he's just playing games. His parents are worried about his obsession. His dad is a programmer. At one point, he installs parental protection on the computer. But Jonathan just breaks through it. In his early teens, he starts reading books on the programming language C and the operating system Unix, a precursor for Linux and Mac OS. He studies source code extensively and talks to other computer enthusiasts. He spends countless hours in front of the computer, often until late into the night. One afternoon, Jonathan uninstalls Windows from his family PC, then installs Linux. No one asked him to. No one could stop him. His computer time regularly leads to arguments with his parents. It doesn't get any better once he gets his own PC. After a while, his parents decide to confiscate it. Jonathan runs away and says he's not coming home until he gets it back. Soon, it won't be his parents who are trying to keep him away from a computer, but the US government. At 15, Jonathan has long morphed from curious preteen to full-blown hacker, one of the youngest and best at the time. Online, he's known under his alias, Comrade. Jonathan really enjoys messing with systems.
Now we know why they went after him. He's a communist. I knew it. A frickin' communist.
Not to break them, but to beat them. It's a power thing, a control thing. He likes the thrill of it. The tougher the system, the more it pulls him in. He goes in, proves it's not so secure after all, and moves on. He doesn't care much about the stuff inside. He doesn't...
Wait, do you think he did that, like, not even on purpose? He accidentally just almost killed people on the ISS? That would be crazy. Like, so far I don't see why he would have malicious intents, like... Why?
Steal data, delete files, or spread viruses. In fact, sometimes he does the opposite. He'll break in, then send a polite little email to the system admin. Hey, your setup's got holes. Here's where. Here's how to fix it.
So far a nice young man. I don't see how this could go any wrong.
In the summer of 1999, Jonathan is looking for a new challenge, so he decides to hack NASA. More specifically, the agency's Marshall Space Flight Center in Huntsville, Alabama. He gains access to 13 NASA computers. It's unclear how, and this time Jonathan decides to actually take something. He downloads proprietary software valued at $1.7 million. It's the software for the temperature and humidity control of the ISS. In an interview, Jonathan will later say, "The code itself was crappy, certainly not worth $1.7 million like they claimed. The only reason I was downloading the source code in the first place was because I was studying C programming, and what better way to learn than reading software written by the government?" Just downloading the software didn't give Jonathan remote control over the ISS systems. Having the source code is one thing, but actually sending commands to a spacecraft.
Jonathan is a human virus. Yeah, dude, what the heck? Did he end up giving this to someone and then someone else did this? Because I still can't quite see why he would do that.
Is a whole different story. It would have taken more steps to actually access the system. But this hack is still a massive security breach. When NASA finds out, they have to shut down their systems for 3 weeks, resulting in damages of around $40,000.
Okay, 40,000 doesn't feel too crazy. Today was my first day at work. I mentioned that at the new workplace, and we were also talking about like security and phishing emails and whatnot, because obviously I work in a hospital and we have 24/7 service, and it's a very big hospital as well. And like, if anything goes wrong, if there's a phishing attack, if there's anything that, you know, just cancels the functionality of our systems, then that's a huge problem. Like, actually huge enough for my boss to be like speechless. She couldn't even tell me what would happen if that were to happen. She was like, okay, if that ever happens to us, because it happened to another facility somewhere she also, I don't know, is into. And she was like, if that happens to us, people are gonna die. Many people, worst case. This is like such a big deal. It's crazy. So 40,000? Who cares about $40,000? Like, yeah, crazy. But I think that would also be considered a terrorist attack. If they would hack a hospital to shut down the whole thing, it's basically unplugging life support, yeah. For the lab that I work at, you are unplugging life support. You go from, I don't know, I'm just making up numbers. If before 10,000 different tests were possible at any given day, then after that, it's gonna drop to 1K. 500. Now, okay, 500 is too little, but 1,000 instead of 10,000, because obviously this has to be documented. So you have to pick out the piece of paper and you have to put it in the printer and you have to print 1 million copies. Not literally 1 million, but you know what I mean. And then you have to do this and then write down everything for every single sample. That's going to take ages, and it's going to lead to people not getting the results they need so desperately. That has the potential to shut down entire sections of entire hospitals. It's super dangerous. So $40,000, I'll take that. Personally, me, I wouldn't take that, but a hospital would take $40,000 at any day of the week over potentially having dying patients. It's a very, very scary thing to imagine.
2 months later, Jonathan takes up his next challenge, hacking the Pentagon. More specifically, their Defense Threat Reduction Agency. It analyzes and deals with potential threats to the
Never heard of that.
U.S. from nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons.
We are really important. Yeah, probably. Wait, no, I didn't listen what they do. We have to listen to that again. What are you doing, DTR?
Defense Threat Reduction Agency. It analyzes and deals with potential threats to the U.S. from nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons. Jonathan gains access to a server in Dulles, Virginia, and installs a backdoor. Again, it is unknown how he actually pulled this off. Once inside DTAR systems, he intercepts more.
This is probably not anything you're interested in, but I have to tell you, every time I finish an animation, I'm like, oh, I'm pretty proud. This animation is very cool. Like just a main show video I uploaded about Wikipedia that nobody wanted to watch. I created some animations for that where I was very proud of myself. I was like, hey, cool, I created that. And then I watch videos like this and I'm like, I still got stuff to learn, I guess. These animations are beautiful. As always, as always.
More than 3,300 messages to and from DTRA staff. He retrieves 19 usernames and passwords of employees, at least 10 of which have access to military computers.
Dude, the insiders hidden here are crazy. First of all, we've got the classic QWE whatever, that's like the German first row of keys in order on the keyboard. Then we have Angelo Merte, German meme. Then we have Kevin Teller, biggest German streamer's real name. Then we have Fight Patriarchy, okay, cool. Then we've got Stemmler, that's the last name of another one of the biggest German streamers. Then we've got Fight Fascism, cool. Then we've got Rezo, also one of the biggest German streamers. Then we have C3PO, C3PO, very classic, I think we all know him. Yes, this is Patrick. Mayonnaise, dude, these memes. Herzglitzer Ralfonus, I don't know that. Mr. Geil, another reference to one of the biggest German streamers. Simplicissimus, their own channel. For those who don't know, Fern is a channel created in part by one of the biggest German YouTube teams, Simplicissimus. Then we have Gronk, another one of the most famous, dude. Walter Frosch, Rüdiger Capriole, Rick Astley, filled with memes. I love this. You can always, I was about to mention that earlier, you can always find these tiny little memes hidden in the animations. Oh, that is beautiful. I love these videos. What else do we have? XQCOW. We all know our man XQCOW. If he would have reacted to the video, it would have already been over because he doesn't actually press pause or say anything. 4 million subs before GTA 6. That would be cool. How many do they have? Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get 4 million before GTA 5. Cool. Yeah, 6. I wish you were German so you could understand, especially Walter Frosch and Rüdiger Capriole. I swear, good memes. Very good memes. You can always find them only if you're German. I mean, for example, wait, XQCOW? You don't need to be German for that. Or 4 million subs before GTA 6, dude. So cool.
Jonathan thinks his hacks are no big deal. To him, they are, quote, just harmless exploration.
What?
Law enforcement.
What? He breaks into the frickin' DTRA, which we just learned today is one of the most important defense agencies, and he's installing backdoors and stuff. How is that harmless exploration? Jonathan, we have to go back to the drawing board on that one, huh?
Disagrees.
Yeah, I also disagree.
It's an early morning in January 2000. Last month, Jonathan turned 16. By now, he has not one, but multiple computers of his own. He is well connected with other hackers, sharing tips and tricks. He also loves Star Trek. His mother comes into the room and wakes him up.
Jonathan, honey, the FBI's at the door.
They're here for him. They raid his family home and take 5 computers. They also take his Palm Pilot, some CDs, and his Star Trek book. Bold choice for evidence. Jonathan is...
If my child was being searched by the FBI, I would not make him aware the ones who were waiting for him downstairs are the FBI. You don't want to save your children, huh? I was ready for you to say, like, if my child, blah, 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 I would just tell him, hey, get out of here. And I wouldn't, but... Dude, it looks like it worked. It looks like they got him.
questioned by the officers. He admits everything and promises to never do it again. Then he hears nothing for 3 months. And then the authorities press charges, and his life begins to change dramatically. Jonathan James becomes the youngest person ever convicted of violating cybercrime laws in the US. If Jonathan had been an adult, he might have ended up with a decade behind bars. But he's still a minor. So the US District Court in Miami puts him on 6 months house arrest. Jonathan is no longer allowed to use his computers in his free time. And even worse, he has to write letters of apology to NASA and the Department of Defense.
Letters of apology. I understand the whole thing about house arrest and stuff, but like, what's he gonna do? Go outside and build a computer made out of glass blades or something? Grass blades? I don't know what the house arrest is gonna do. Maybe so he can't go to other people's places and get like access to the internet or something. What does NASA do with that? Yeah, for real. It's gonna be like, oh, dude, we lost $40,000. Hey, but we got this letter of apology. Great. Now the $40,000 doesn't matter anymore. We've got this cute letter of apology. Especially the Department of Defense, dude. You wouldn't even have a job without him. I'm very sorry that you actually got to do work. Oh no. Ooh. What am I gonna do now? The people at the offices are like, oh man, now we have to do work? This guy better apologize. What a bad boy you've been.
Drugs, a clear probation violation. So he gets sent to a juvenile detention facility for 6 months. He's scared about spending time there with actual criminals. His
I
father
can
will later
imagine
say
that, yeah.
Prison changed Jonathan. It made him strangely idle. Looking back, Jonathan regrets the whole thing. What started as fun challenges ended with him behind bars. The thrills weren't worth it, not even close. From that point on, he decides to leave hacking behind for good. But not everyone believes him, and a few years later, his past life will catch up with him. Some viewers think our animations are made with AI. Our 3D artists,
Oh, I guess now we've got the sponsored segment.
who spend countless hours building these shots from scratch, aren't angry, just disappointed. AI can be helpful with other tasks though, like research.
Like, just as an explanation for those who are disappointed that I'm not skipping anything. Dude, what am I doing? I'm sitting here watching a video this well made. Obviously, it's just fair if we also see what the advertisement has to offer. I think the official rule is actually to show the whole thing. I'm unsure. Maybe we can find some information about that. I think just to be safe, we're gonna have it play entirely.
That's where Merlin AI comes in. Merlin AI is an all-in-one AI
Why does Merlin AI look exactly like... Oh, okay, because it's GPT 4.1. Okay.
tool that bundles the best AI models all in one place, and you can even save tons of money. They gave us a 75% discount code we will share with you in just a second.
Ooh.
You might already be using AI to rewrite emails, or to figure out what it really means when your ex texts you up at 1 a.m. But Merlin goes beyond that. In our work as journalists, it helps us with research, summarizing dense papers and pulling reference images in one click. Once installed, it's like a competent assistant in your browser. If you want to try Merlin AI, you can get a huge discount right now. While other AI tools charge around $20 per month for just one model, Merlin AI gives you access to all major ones for only $5 per month.
Wow.
Click on the link in the description
Okay. What's the code?
and use our code FERN at checkout.
Okay, cool. I haven't tested this product. I don't know if it's any good. If you're interested in that, go ahead and scan the code and use the code FERN. As always, you are going to find the link to both this YouTube channel as well as the specific video at the very first row in the video description, because we strongly believe in supporting the people we react to on this channel. So if you haven't already, also go ahead and subscribe to Fern, obviously. While you're at it, I would also be happy about a subscription. Let's go on. Okay. Garfield.
This is Albert Gonzalez. He's got a few things in common with Jonathan James. He was also born in the 80s. He too is a self-taught hacker. When he was 14, he also broke into NASA systems. And as a consequence, he also got a visit by the FBI. But that didn't stop Gonzalez from hacking. Far from it. We don't know if Albert Gonzalez and Jonathan James knew each other, but they had a common hacker friend called Christopher Scott. Gonzalez went by many aliases on the internet, but his favorite was Soup Nazi, a reference to a Seinfeld episode.
You want bread?
Yes, please.
$3.
Can I show that? Probably.
In early 2000s, Gonzalez stumbled across Shadow Crew, a marketplace for trafficking stolen credit and bank card numbers
Okay.
and identity information. And even though the feds are having an eye on him, he gets involved. In 2003, he gets caught trying to pull cash from an ATM using fake credit cards. To avoid jail time, he agrees to work with the Secret Service. Soon, he helps them bust a bunch of Shadow Crew members. You'd expect that his work as an informant for the Secret Service would stop him.
Dude, that has to be the greatest thing. If you are a blatant criminal, you're like, oh yeah, I don't know, I'm a huge drug dealer or someone, and you just get approached by the Secret Service and they're like, you could go to prison, or you could tell us all about these people and you're free to go. I would take that at any time of the week. Because don't you also get into the witness protection program? Nah, that would be so awesome. I mean, I wouldn't commit crimes and then be like, oh, we'll see, maybe I get lucky. But like, if you, for some reason, do that, and you manage to make a deal like this, top, perfect. What better could happen to you? Very good. GG's to the guy in the orange shirt. GG's to you.
He sets up an elaborate scheme he calls Get Rich or Die Trying. The scheme will turn into one of the world's biggest cases of identity theft. It'll ruin his life. But Jonathan James will end up dead.
Wait, the Jonathan? We were just... Yeah, okay, the title. I already forgot my own intro. Wait, so the guy... Oh nee, our Jonathan, our good friend, our good homie. We're not actually friends, please don't arrest me, but like, he didn't do anything, or he probably did some stuff, but oh man, how did that happen?
This is Scott, who is both friends with Gonzalez and James. Next to him sits
Hi,
someone
Scott.
who, according to criminal reports, is only known as JJ. They're doing something called war driving. It's a simple technique. You drive around in your car and park close to companies. You only need your laptop and a high-power radio antenna. Once you're close enough, you check for vulnerabilities in their Wi-Fi network. Back then, most companies weren't exactly taking cybersecurity seriously. Inside Office Max, people are buying Post-its and whiteboard markers in 4 colors, gearing up for a meeting that probably could have been an email. Outside, Scott and JJ access the store's Wi-Fi, and through that enter its systems. Once inside, they install a sniffer program, which captures and downloads credit and debit card data from customers. Then they send the data to Gonzalez. He forwards it to another hacker, who decrypts the PIN codes. Gonzalez and his crew don't just sell the stolen card info, they encode them onto blank magnetic strip cards and use those to pull tens of thousands of dollars out of ATMs.
Wow.
After the Office Max breach, banks were apparently forced to reissue around 200,000 cards. And this hack wasn't a one-off. Over the span of the next 3 years, Gonzalez...
These guys must be rich. 200, obviously for security reasons, they have to reissue every card within a certain time frame, whatever. But like 200,000 cards. These people must be so, or must have been at that time. Why would he give them a credit card info? I don't know, like they work together to do something? Dude, this is crazy. That must be a whole lot of cash. What the heck? Okay, that's crazy. And they didn't, this is what they were gonna say now. They didn't just do this to like one facility. You can just drive around town and do this like 3 or 4 times a day, I imagine. What the heck? Now I understand why this is one of the largest operations. Now imagine multiple teams doing that. Whoa. Okay, crazy. They're gonna probably tell us how much money they made. That's pretty insane.
and his crew hack into several major US companies.
And I can already promise you again, I also didn't see this. Okay. I can tell you most likely what happened here is this crew of 3 people, someone in there probably killed the other one out of greed or out of whatever. Our boy Jonathan got killed by one of his friends. I can tell you that. Oh man, it's already so sad.
Including BJ's, Wholesale Club, Boston Market,
PJs. Y'all have a company over there that's called BJ's. What do they sell? PJs? Wholesale Club. I would like to go to the BJ's Club to get Bieber jackets or whatever they sell there. I don't know. Cool products, probably.
BJ's Wholesale Club, Boston Market, Barnes & Noble, Forever 21, and others. Their biggest credit card data heist happens at TJX. That's the parent company of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, and others.
Okay.
Around 96 million TJX customers are affected by the theft of their credit and debit card info.
96 million are affected by what?
Around 96 million TJX customers are affected by the theft of their credit and debit card info.
Okay, these people are rich. What? He just named a million companies, none of which I've ever heard of. And one of those companies, 96 million people have gotten their information stolen from. They're gonna need multiple teams. They're gonna need multiple teams to get all the cash. They probably have like hundreds of millions of cards, or like the equivalent. How are they gonna ever get that much money? If the next chapter in this is going to be that they also have some intelligent scheme of like getting the money in another way than just to go to these ATMs and getting it by hand, then woe are these people rich. That is a crazy, crazy scheme. But as I said, they could just take four freaking companies per day and just cruise around and steal people's information. I can imagine that those numbers are what's going to come out of that. That's insane.
At the time, these attacks make up the largest case of identity theft in US history.
I can imagine.
The crew stole the data of around 180 million credit and debit cards. The total damage of all infected companies amounts to roughly $400 million in
Okay, but that's the damage. That's not what they got, because obviously it's hard to actually do anything with that information. 400 million. What the heck, dude? That's more than 40,000.
reimbursements, legal costs, and forensic fees.
There's a major break in a credit card scam that affected millions of people.
Experts say this man's arrest may lead to the kingpin behind the biggest credit card ID theft in history.
The Secret Service investigates, and at one point, they realize that their very own informant is not only involved, but is the mastermind behind the TJX heist.
Whoa, tough shot, by the way. Very tough shot. But wow, identity theft is not a joke. No, it really isn't. Wow. You are in the lucky position to get that deal, and you mess it up like this. Wow. How can you mess up even more? That is insane.
May 2008, Pinecrest, Florida. Jonathan James is 24 years old now.
Don't insult my arm gestures. What did I do? Villager with the hand. Wait, his arm gesture? Wait, I didn't even see that. I thought you meant my arm gesture. Yeah, I played you, Secret Service. It was I. And his hairline is very crisp. They couldn't animate this. Really? All these crazy animations? Can't even see that. All these crazy animations, and they couldn't animate this. They had to do... They had to do this. Come on. Bird, you have to learn.
May 2008, Pinecrest, Florida. Jonathan James is 24 years old now. He doesn't go to college. He doesn't have a job. His mother died of breast cancer 6 years ago.
Oh.
Together with his brother, he still lives in the house he grew up in.
Pretty fancy
He apparently
house.
suffers from depression. Overall, he's living a withdrawn life and is retired from hacking. But today, he'll get another surprise visit. This time, it's the Secret Service. They raid the family's house, just like the FBI had done 8 years ago. They drew a connection from Gonzalez to Christopher Scott to him. They suspect that JJ is short for Jonathan James, and that he's part of the hacker group. The agents go through Jonathan's
The connection is they suspected that JJ is short for Jonathan James.
stuff. They find a suicide note he had written years ago and a gun. We don't know if the agents offer him psychological help, but according to Jonathan, they don't confiscate the weapon.
What?
Jonathan is shocked. He swears that he has nothing to do with the TJX case. What's going on? On the subpoena, he's able to find some answers. He reads about this guy, Albert Gonzalez. Jonathan recognizes him by another nickname he used online. Gonzalez has been working as an informant for the feds since 2003. For 5 years, Gonzalez used Scott to pull off his hacks, while simultaneously ratting out other hackers to the feds to stay in their good graces. Jonathan is sure that Gonzalez is now trying to pin the hacks on Scott. And he is getting a bad feeling. He thinks that he'll be a much more appealing target than Chris. It might not matter to the feds that he's innocent, even though, in his words, Scott and Gonzalez are the most destructive, dangerous hackers the feds ever caught. They'll let them off easy because he's a juicier target.
Is he doing it again?
Gonzalez are the most destructive, dangerous hackers.
I know, here they... Wait, here his hand just goes inside of his arm. Okay, at least he's not pulling the villager pose anymore. Well, we're making advances.
Feds ever caught. They'll let them
That's
off easy
better.
because he's a juicier target. That would please the public more. In Jonathan's mind, the picture is clear. They need a scapegoat. Not Gonzalez, not Scott, not the one who actually caused the damage, but him, Jonathan.
What? So he didn't even do any of this? Wait, okay. I thought he actually did this, but no, I didn't pay attention apparently. Wow, okay. So not only didn't he actually do anything, but he's gonna be the one who ends up dead. Hopefully not by his own hand. Probably by his own hand. They already mentioned that they found the gun and the self-destruction node. Dude, whoa. So sadly, to predict what's gonna happen here, he didn't actually do any of this, and this whole thing, like he already was in prison and it kind of changed him, it wasn't a good time for him, he's gonna end up taking his own, you know what I mean, because of this, even though he didn't even do it. Wow, man. I thought this was fun and about like astronauts in the ISS. I don't know how I thought this was gonna be fun, as the title literally says that he's gonna die already. But dude, man, okay, maybe it's different from what I thought.
In his words, the feds played dirty. He holds these beliefs for a reason. There's this paper that has made rounds in the hacker scene, Agent Steele's Guide to Getting Busted. It's basically a survival guide for hackers, written by one who ended up in prison. Agent Steele's real name was Justin Tanner Peterson. He was an American hacker who worked as an informant for the feds while continuing to commit crimes. Agent Steele writes, "The criminal justice system is a game to be played, both by prosecution and defense. And if you have to be a player, you'd be wise to learn the rules of engagement." He makes it clear that law enforcement isn't always fair. They play dirty and will do just about anything, including lie, to win their case.
I can actually confirm that from what I've heard so far. I'm an avid true crime enjoyer. I don't know if we're gonna have some true crime reactions. I almost assume so. I just haven't found the perfect channel yet. I've had this crazy case that I was watching a video about, where basically what they did is, this kid, his like father or something got, like someone broke into their home and just to the father. I can probably say all of those words. They killed his father, and the freaking government, like the police, took him into questioning and kept him there for like 18 hours and tortured, actually, like not actually physically tortured, but like played mind games with him for 18 hours straight with like an 11-year-old child, until at the end of those 18 hours, the child was like, okay, I did it. And the child actually thought they didn't just say that to get out of that situation, but he actually thought he did it. And then he was like, oh my god, why did I do this? What the heck? Justice system do be very dirty, very, very weird. It's actually crazy. So I can agree to this guy. I've also heard cases, man. I've heard cases, and I'm pretty sure in the future, as we react to some as we react to some true crime, we are going to come across cases. It's not going to be fun at times.
Jonathan read this guide, and he knows that Gonzalez is working with the feds, so he's convinced he's going to prison, even though he's innocent.
Probably, man.
The first time was already terrifying. He doesn't want to go through that again.
Oh, aye, okay. Content note. The following section contains discussion of, I can probably say these words, of suicide. If you are struggling, you will find links to support resources in the video description. We talk about Jonathan's death because it's a significant part of his overall story. Just say voiding. Applies to... Okay. Now we're gonna listen to it. Resources? Yeah. Seek help if you are struggling. You can probably not see it because chat is in the way. Now you can see it. Yeah, very good. Very good content note, and like the resources, I enjoy that, but okay, crazy.
On May 18th, 2008, 2 weeks after agents raided his home, Jonathan was found dead in his home after a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He wrote a note. There are messages to his family and friends, passwords to his accounts. In this letter, he also expresses his opinion on the authorities. He writes, "I have no faith in the justice system. Perhaps my actions today, in this letter, will send a stronger message to the public. Either way, I have lost control over the situation, and this is my only way to regain control. Remember, it's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose. And sitting in jail for 20, 10, or even 5 years for a crime I didn't commit is not me winning. I die free."
Yeah, very strong words. That's crazy. Roku cute hearts, welcome. My face reviewed yesterday, stream with face today. Well, dude, I'm gonna put resources in the video description as well. You're also gonna find resources in my video description if you struggle with thoughts like that. Terrible when a life is cut short this way, but yeah, that's a struggle. Wow, that's very crazy. And I sure hope that hopefully he reached his goal, that the publicity from this incident, I mean, it probably led to this video, so he gets people talking about this, and that sheds light onto the situation. So I guess the only silver lining in this case is that it looks like he has gotten his will. He died free. He died a free man, and he managed to get the publicity to have this brought to light. So yeah, very sorry for what he had to go through, and obviously the loss of his person. My condolences to the family.
In March 2010, Albert Gonzalez was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for his role in the series of hacks. In the backyard of his parents, the Secret Service seized a barrel containing $1.2 million in cash.
Wow.
Christopher Scott was sentenced to 7 years in prison for his role in the attacks. It's likely that the pseudonym JJ didn't refer to Jonathan James, but rather to Stephen Watt, another figure convicted in the TJX case, who was known to use the alias Jim Jones online. At the point of his death, Jonathan neither had been arrested, charged, tried, nor sentenced. It seems like knowing that Gonzalez had worked with the Secret Service fueled Jonathan's fear to become a scapegoat and end up in prison. Jonathan James wasn't some criminal mastermind. He was a teenager with a rare talent and a deep curiosity for how systems work. After he hacked into them, he often offered to help fix them. Instead of guiding such talents, helping to channel them into something good, the justice system decided to make an example out of him.
Man, oh man. Dude, I just hope that he'd be proud of what he managed to achieve with his actions. I hope he would have been happy with the publicity that actually ended up happening because of this case, and hopefully he died in peace, a little bit at least, knowing that he'd be able to be free. But obviously nobody should do that, you know. There's always help, there's always a way to get out of there. As Caps told, who says, I don't get away, that's a synonym for self-destruction, for... Nope. I don't know. My only guess is probably because he was already in prison for like half a year. Was it half a year? Was it 3 months? So he knew that that was gonna break him, and he was gonna go to prison for a very, very long time. And he already came back from his first prison tense completely, you know, a changed man. They mentioned how he was just idle and not the same person anymore. So he was probably completely desperate, and he knew, okay, I didn't do anything wrong, and they're gonna do this to me. There's no way out of this. Yeah, but there's always a way out of this. I hope if you're in a similar situation, you're gonna see that. And if you're struggling, again, I've got resources in the video description. Check them out. That's probably gonna be the second thing after the link to this video. Because if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and subscribe to Fern. Great armchair documentaries almost every single week. We've had some hard topics today, but I hope you enjoyed the second reaction upload that I ever did, my second reaction ever. And see you again, hopefully. Go ahead and drop a subscription so we can see each other on Friday. I think this should be uploaded on Monday, so hopefully we'll see each other on Friday. See ya.